We'll see.
Oh, it's green.
Okay, yeah, we are getting
Yay.
green. Let's
Yay.
hope to God that it stays like this. If not, we're just going to run with it, see what happens. But anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Single Sarah.
And we're Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. And this is our nightly Game of Thrones, well, not nightly, but every Sunday night, our Game of Thrones recap. And I'm not going to be able to watch the chat because I
got it.
Yeah, because I have 2% battery on my phone.
Good job.
But we've had technical difficulties for about the past 10 minutes, and I think we finally got it worked out. But the plus side of that is we've had a minute to calm down. Because at about 10 minutes till 10 p.m. East time, I was a little fidgety. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the episode in order because I don't want to get all the good stuff out of the way. But like I said, and the first one that I'm not 100% sure if that's going to come through or not, but the first 3/4 of this episode seemed really dull compared to the last 3 episodes. Did you get that at all?
A little bit, but I really liked when Arya reunited. That made me very happy.
To me, they were making it a point to show that it really wasn't a huge deal. Like, you know, Sansa's going around just hugging everybody, thrilled about it and everything. Mm-hmm. And, like, Bran, he's basically not even himself anymore, and he said as much.
He's not.
You know, like, Brandon Stark is dead, basically. And
that was kind of sad for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you know, they've been through so much, you got to realize it's been years since they've seen each other, and he's been out in the wild, and but not only that, but Arya, she's a different person. She's nowhere near her.
She's kicking ass and taking names,
Yeah.
literally.
She's nowhere near what she was the last time, you know, Sansa saw her. Like, she was still struggling to sword fight the last time, and now she's like a armed combat master and wearing other faces and killing lords and all kinds of neat stuff. So, just spoiler alert, if you're watching and haven't seen this episode, either leave now or forever hold your peace, because we're going to be talking full effect spoilers for this episode. This is Season 7, Episode 4, titled The Spoils of War. So to begin with, we see Peter Baelish and Bran Stark talking. And he gives Bran Stark the dagger that was an attempt on his life. And then he ends up giving it to Arya. So, what do you think is the reasoning behind Littlefinger giving Brandon Stark?
See, that's what I was wondering. Okay, maybe I forgot something along the way, but how did Littlefinger end up with it? I don't remember.
I don't know. How did he end up with that dagger?
It's a question. If anybody's watching that knows, feel free to comment.
Right.
I don't know for sure.
See, that's what I was trying to figure out when he first handed it to him. How did he get his hands on it?
Well, here's what I'm thinking. And this is just a guess. I'm thinking that dagger was left at Winterfell. And when Baelish handed Sansa over to Ramsay, he ended up with it at some point right around there.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. But that's a strong possibility. And apparently restarting the computer fixed everything. So.
If all else fails, turn it off. And turn
I guess
it
so,
on.
but there was a lot of problems.
I don't know why he gave it to Bran, because Bran really doesn't have that much use for it, given, like, his circumstance.
Well, you know, he wanted him to have it because it was used in an attempt on his life.
Yeah, that's why. It has nothing to do with him actually using it. He's trying to get in good with who he thinks is the new Lord Stark by giving him a bow dagger.
Which, Valerian steel.
Yeah.
And I think that may come into play. I think anything Valerian.
Mama Bear, Angela, by the way.
Okay, cool.
He's
So,
going to learn real quick, she said.
Valerian steel, that was what was it? That was what the sword was made out of that Jon Snow fought the Night King with.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Valerian steel can combat the White Walkers in addition to dragon glass. And so I mean, like, tonight was major. I want to just rush through everything and get to the good part, but no, we can't do that. We can't do that. Cersei, Queen Cersei, has used last episode's major victory at the end of the episode to pay in full the debts owed to the Iron Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping true the term that a Lannister always pays their debts.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, she got lucky. But things seem to be going pretty good for her. And Arya ended up at Winterfell.
I still think Cersei's in for a rude awakening, though.
You really think Cersei's... I don't know. I really don't see how... I don't know. You know Cersei's probably going to get hers eventually. But
Yeah.
I don't think it will be
May
as
not.
satisfying a death.
Probably not.
But
I'll still be satisfied that she's dead, though.
you never know. She may even have some big redeeming moment at the end. That's what'll happen. They'll wait until you're rooting for her, and then they'll kill her off.
I am never going to root for that woman.
Sarah holds a grudge, you ought to know.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to steal that gold. They said it made it safely to King's Landing, though.
Okay. So yeah, the gold made it. Cersei's monstrous debt. Now, it wasn't only that debt, but it was the debt from all the other wars.
Mm-hmm.
Even the stuff that Robert Baratheon, the king, and Joffrey and Joffrey's little brother, all that debt that everybody had accumulated was paid in full due to this one battle. So they basically overthrew a territory, took all their gold, and that's all she wrote. So Arya ends up getting the dagger that Littlefinger gave to Brandon. And we'll get back to that one part. But you have Daenerys at Dragonstone. Now, see, I was sitting down writing down all these little details as the episode went, because I was like, God, you know, this is... I'm going to really have to write down stuff that we can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really didn't think that we were going to have a whole lot to talk about at the end of the...
Oh.
But yeah.
Surprise!
Jon Snow, they were searching the island, and he takes Daenerys down into the cave and shows her all the dragon glass that they
It was
found.
really cool, too.
A ton of it. And deeper into the cave still, they find like these little like paintings and, you know, carvings and things like that.
From the Children of the Forest.
Yeah, the Children of the Forest teaming up with men to fight the White
first
Walkers.
one.
And
So I'm wondering if Daenerys actually believes him now that she's seen like the carvings in the cave.
yes, I think she does. But she is like, we will fight with you as long as you bend the knee. And at that point, I was like, ugh.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. But I really found it funny. And if anybody has any comments or any thoughts on the episode, remember, full spoilers
So is
for the next
Jamie
episode.
dead? Somebody says.
You know, that's what I was wondering.
We don't know if he's dead or not. They cut the episode.
Yeah, because he kept floating down. So.
Yeah.
Shit, though.
He was in full armor. There's no way he was going to swim. Somebody had to save him. Who saved him? Wait, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. Everybody's wanting to talk about the good stuff, and we're having to keep structure to this episode.
She really wants him on his knees. Might get it by the end of next season.
While they were in the cave, did you? Was I the only one thinking, "Holy crap, they're about to kiss"?
You know, I thought that for a split second, and she's talked all this bend the knee crap. I'm like, well, forget that.
She ruined it with that, didn't she?
Pretty much.
Did you see
she
the
needed
episode?
a Snickers bar.
Did
that hand is heavy.
Did you see the meme that we posted that had Jon Snow walking up into Daenerys' throne room, and like she looks down at Jon Snow and she was like, "Yes, Jon Snow, I'd be glad to give you all the dragon ass you can handle." And like what's the name? The bald dude, Varys. Yeah, he like leans over, whispers in her ear, and she's like, "Oh no, I mean dragon glass, all the dragon glass you can handle."
Yes, I remember that one.
They're like sitting there looking at her.
Yeah, great.
But yeah, we've. So apparently Jon Snow did not bend the knee in the cave.
Obviously not.
And it's even gotten to where now she's asking Jon Snow for advice when she didn't like what Tyrion Lannister had to say. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I don't...
But Jon did agree with Tyrion.
Yeah, and she went and did the exact opposite anyway.
Yeah.
Good idea or bad idea?
Yeah. Oh.
Because they didn't actually attack a city. They called them out on the open road.
It took them off guard. It definitely took them off guard.
And in my personal, well-read opinion,
wonder how many people are left. I wonder if, like, is all of their army out there, or half of their army, or most
surely
of their
they
army?
didn't put all of their eggs in one basket.
I wonder how many.
If that's the case, it's over at this point. There are a lot of people left on Cersei's army. Not to mention all their allies and all the people that they have. But we had I did notice that Jon Snow told her what the good idea. Tyrion Lannister told her the good idea. They both agreed, and she goes and does her own thing anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like she doesn't even need a hand at this point. She took old lady Tyrell's advice and is being the dragon. Mm. And I really can't wait. I hope they give us that satisfaction to have Jaime Lannister tell Cersei about what really happened to her son. And I'll go ahead and say...
You know, I was hoping that might happen in this episode.
No, definitely not.
No. No.
So, Brienne of Tarth sparred with Arya.
That was pretty funny.
That was, up to that point, the highlight of the episode. Mm-hmm. That was really what made that episode really good.
She sort of did listen, didn't burn citizens or cities.
Yeah, it was a purely military endeavor. And it was almost like she took what she wanted to do, she took Tyrell's advice, and she took the guy's advice, mm-hmm. and kind of went in the middle. Like, she did attack, mm-hmm. and God, what an attack it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she didn't burn anything.
Leave? Like, when did she leave, though? Like, it seems like some people don't even know when she had left and do that.
It was in between where they had the discussion. They had time to go back up into the castle. There's no telling how much Game of Thrones is really toying with us right now on the concept of time,
yeah.
And how it passes and everything. Because a little while later we see the reunion between Theon Greyjoy, who comes up with that one ship that was left, and Jon Snow. And Jon Snow basically tells him, like, grabs him by the collar and says, "Hey, you know, if it wasn't for you saving Sansa Stark, like, I'd be beating the hell out of you right now."
I really thought he was going to punch him. I really did.
I did. I would have bet money that he was going to do it. And he probably should have. Yeah, God. I don't know. Like, Theon Greyjoy is one of them people that, to this point, I've hated him half of the series,
Then you liked him.
and I've loved him half the series.
He's kind of like in the gray area.
I never really liked him. I felt pity on him because he had his punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, whatever he did, he had his punishment. But yeah, I mean, they didn't burn cities or anything. And we got to see that little reunion. And as they ask, where's Daenerys Targaryen? Where's the queen? They said, oh, she's gone. And then it immediately pans over to the royal army with Jaime Lannister and all the other folks. And that's the same guy running around with Jaime that ran around with Tyrion Lannister for a little while.
Yeah,
he's the one that fought for him in trial by combat and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I remember him.
And they ran around together quite a bit. And then about the time I think Tyrion got away from him is when Jorah captured him and took him off to, Valyria. Let's see, what do we... Remember, if you have any comments or questions or anything, we're here to discuss the newest episode of Game of Thrones, The Spoils of War, the 4th episode of Season 7. And I'm happy we got over those technical difficulties earlier. That really sucked. I didn't know if we were going to get this off the ground or not.
You should have heard it in here when...
Oh my God.
Yeah, you should have heard it in here when we saw Daenerys coming over and everything. Like, we were both screaming.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. Like, Amber was off in another room, and of course she comes out, probably thought World War III had broke out. Now, it was kind of neat where Brienne of Tarth asked Arya Stark who taught her all that, and she said no one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
A really neat little touch there. Kind of gesture for, earlier on. But yeah, they made it a point. Jon Snow and them, they were talking to some of Daenerys's servants and everything, and they were asking them, do you think that if Daenerys is, her handmaiden, do you think that if she were to up right now and say, hey, I want to go back to my homeland and live the rest of my life, would Daenerys really let her go?
I don't know, because technically haven't they sworn their life to their queen? I mean, is that not how that works, though, usually?
I don't think...
Especially, if she was just, somebody else, but, she's, at her side all the time, so I don't know.
Well, they were trying to convince her that she's still a slave, basically. Even though Daenerys freed all the slaves, that she's still technically a slave to Daenerys Targaryen, and that she wouldn't be able to leave whenever she wanted, but she swears that she would be able to.
Well, maybe she feels obligated to stay too because, she got her out of the crappy situation she was in.
Yeah, she's almost obliged to.
Yeah.
So,
they could probably be so much worse off too.
But they do have a very interesting point. Daenerys is the queen that they chose. Mm-hmm. They chose her as a leader. She wasn't born into it. Technically, even though she is kind of like the heir. But yeah, she wasn't born into it. She didn't have it handed to her. She fought from the ground up. She did kind of have that. She was married to, the king of the, God. Whatever. But anyway, she's got all them, with her and everything, but she used her own cunning, her own ability, her own social skills, and everything to amass this army, get the ships, and sail over to Dragonstone. And hopefully, we will see some kind of battle before the end of the series.
Yeah.
I'm really afraid that we're gonna. I don't know how long it's going to be between the end of this season and the beginning of the next, but I'm almost afraid to ask. I really am, because we've only got three more episodes. Yeah, we've only got 3 more episodes left after this one. So, let's see. Yeah, Jon Snow met Theon Greyjoy. They had that whole deal. finally, here's the point that everybody wants to talk about. They were Jaime Lannister. All the people are just kind of hanging out on the road. They're getting ready to kind of go their separate ways. Different
Everything's
people.
all hunky dory. Cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, they're coming off of this big battle. You know, where they big glorious victory, and then they hear yelling and horse, hoof beats on the ground.
At first, I thought it was just a really bad storm approaching.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So
Daenerys, the storm.
They suddenly realize that, hey, it might be a good idea to get in position because it seems like there might be something coming over this hill.
There's a whole lot of something coming over that hill.
Not only did we see the massive army that Daenerys had, but we also see her riding in on a dragon.
Yes.
And
that was an awesome moment.
That, to this point in the series, coolest scene in Game of Thrones history.
Especially when she started firing those.
Yeah, the fire. They used 70% of the budget on this one episode. I mean, they did. It was crazy. I almost want to go back and watch that again.
God. And what's funny is Jamie's just sitting there like, holy crap, what do I do? Like,
yeah.
He looks so dumbfounded. And then you have, what's his name? He was running around for Jamie, and he acts like he don't know what to do. And what happened to him? Did he, escape somewhere?
Who?
What's his name that was helping Jamie out as a side?
Oh, okay, the dude that was with him, the guy that was shooting the big arrows.
Yes.
God, what's that guy's?
He kept running away, and I don't remember where they left him off at.
I honestly think that he's the one that saved Jamie. Because what had happened is he was shooting the giant arrows, and then as soon as the one made contact with the dragon landed right next to it, blew fire on it. When it did, he jumped off, and it missed him by that much. And
so I wonder if that's him who went in the water with Jamie.
It had to have been. It absolutely had to have been, because he was there, right next to the wagon or whatever that had the giant crossbow on it. And
God, that thing was huge.
I mean, so he was technically right there. So Jamie is riding towards, the dragon, and then that's when he gets knocked off into the water. So that guy was there. He was in the area. It was either him or the other dude they were talking to before that saved Jamie the first time.
Yeah, it was just chaos.
Complete
chaos.
Oh yeah, it was, and it was really, number one, it was satisfying to see the dragon fly in and just burn entire paths like a football field.
Very satisfying for me.
The finale is supposed to be 90 minutes.
That's good. Yeah. That makes me feel good.
When does that?
Firestorm.
Dun, dun. Okay, so good. The finale, I'm not going to have to get up way early the next morning. We'll be here. But yeah, we're going to be doing these every week. But yeah, I mean, it was so satisfying to see the dragon swoop in and burn 3 or 4 football fields worth of soldiers and then pick up. But the dude, they did have the secret weapon, the giant crossbow with the freaking arrows on it, the size of, not even spears, the freaking, looked like power poles or something they were putting. No, they wasn't quite that big. They were big. Yeah, they were big enough for somebody to pick up, bigger than a spear, but not quite that big.
What they used to jump over the hurdles.
Yeah, like a javelin. Yeah.
So my question is, maybe it's a stupid one. Do you think the dragon will be okay, or what?
In my personal opinion, where they hit the dragon, I don't think it got him in any vital organs. I'm not an expert on dragon anatomy, but it got him right in the wing, and he had to land, but he was still able to stand up and breathe fire and be pissed. So
I'm hoping he will be okay.
I'm pretty sure now the dragon may be out of commission for the rest of the season. And he'll probably have to heal up, at Dragonstone or whatever. But I think the dragon will be okay. That's not to say I honestly expected the dragon to die.
I thought so too, but
I knew it. I was like, because really, my heart was beating more for the dragon than anything else. That bothers me. Like, you can kill people, kill whoever all day long. But the minute you mess with a cat or a dog or a dragon,
that's where Lonnie draws the line.
That's where I draw the line. Like, they had that one episode early in the series where they wanted to get rid of all the heirs of Robert Baratheon so nobody could lay claim to the throne because Joffrey was the king. And they went through the brothel and killed every illegitimate child that he could have. And I was like, somebody puts a spear through a dragon's shoulder, and I'm like, no! That's where we draw the line, Game of Thrones. Exactly.
But then it turned its head and it shot fire.
It did, and I honestly thought that the way Jaime Lannister was riding in full blast, that was the end of Jaime Lannister.
I really did
too.
And Tyrion was up there, you fucking idiot. That was just hilarious.
That's exactly why I thought he was going to die. Because Tyrion thought he was going to die. I pretty much, anything Tyrion Lannister says, I take to the bank. He's like, I took one of those little quizzes or whatever where it tells you what Game of Thrones character you are. And it gave me Jon Snow. And I was so mad that I didn't get Tyrion Lannister. Because
Tyrion's one of my favorite characters.
Tyrion Lannister is like my Game of Thrones counterpart. Not really. It's like, I drink and I know things. That's pretty much what I do.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Emperor's up here like, okay.
It's true. I wish I could argue. We could only hope Jaime dies soon. I came, I saw, I left.
Don't. Here's the thing. Jaime Lannister, his only bad thing about him is he doesn't have a backbone.
No, he doesn't, especially when it comes to Cersei.
He is he is a chameleon. He emulates his surroundings. He was with Tyrion by himself, he helped Tyrion. He was with Brienne of Tarth by himself. He was a good guy for the longest. Everybody loved him to death.
I feel like he turned his back when he went back to Cersei.
Yeah, he spends 20 minutes with Cersei and
yeah,
she does her thing and suddenly he's evil again.
I know, at this point, I think he almost deserves what he gets for being stupid like that. That's just me, though.
I could half agree with you. Because I do think there are redeeming qualities to him.
There is redeeming qualities, but then when he goes back to Cersei and he knows what Cersei is
and we all know that Sarah holds a grudge, so if he goes back to her, it's over.
You stabbed me in the back.
Did you read the fan theory? I think I may have even sent it to you. Talking about how Jaime Lannister may be the prince that was promised.
I don't remember if I read that one or not.
Basically, that somebody got a lot of the prophecy and a lot of the verses from the book and everything and really made a good case that Jaime is the prophesied prince or true ruler.
So do you think Bronn will turn on Jaime?
Bronn, that's his name.
Bronn, yes. It depends on who. Here's the thing, Bronn doesn't have an allegiance.
No, you really don't.
Who the hell ever is paying that guy? That's whose side he's on. And he's kind of like Jaime in that sense.
That was just what I was thinking.
He goes with whoever, and I can't fault the guy.
His butt or
this dude, he has zero allegiance to his queen, zero allegiance to his country, zero allegiance to whoever. He is out for number one. He's out for himself. And, I can't help but like the guy. But I will say the only reason I have to hate him... It's hard to even hate him for trying to kill the dragon. Because, I'm sorry, but even if I love the dragons to death, if that son of a gun's swooping down, setting fire to everything around me, I'm probably going to try to kill it. So that's where he was coming from, I think. If the dragons would have just flown by and not hurt anybody, I think he would have stared at them in awe with everybody else. Mm-hmm. But the minute they start putting him in immediate danger, hey, I might die. It's time to kill a dragon. So while I hate that the dragon got hit by a giant arrow, I have to think that there was nothing personal in that. He was just trying to survive.
Yeah, I can see that. I can agree to that. Some of them were just standing there like, there's a dragon come out.
Kind of like Jaime Lannister was.
Yeah, it's like, you might want to move out of the way.
I'll go ahead and say, and I hate to be the one who abandons the camp and abandons my army and leaves everybody out and I go AWOL. But if a dragon is flying around setting fire to everything, I'm going to the house. Ain't nothing my little sword and shield's gonna do. I'm heading out. Sorry, y'all are on your own. Let the archers handle it. And we all saw how that worked out. It actually looked like all the arrows bounced off the dragon. Like those arrows, what?
They did.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon's like... It'd be like somebody throwing a pencil at me.
Like, what was that?
Yeah.
Stop poking me.
It's like, did I run through a flock of birds on the way down here?
Insects.
But, yeah. The battle, easily the greatest 15 minutes in Game of Thrones history.
That was awesome.
Easily. Right towards the end, it was pretty neat to see Tyrion observing the battle. It was awesome to see Daenerys Targaryen fly in on the back of a dragon. I hated seeing the dragon get hurt, but like I said, I think the dragon will survive.
I can't remember. Was Jon Snow with him? Or did Jon Snow stay behind at Dragonstone?
Jon Snow stayed behind.
Okay.
He wasn't going to go to that. Was he there?
See, I can't remember.
They never showed him, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't. Because I don't remember seeing Tyrion Lannister leave with them. He was there when they said she was gone.
So that makes me wonder, where was he? Or was he just back at Dragonstone?
Huh. So now it's time to give our thoughts on what's going to happen next. I'm pretty sure the dragon's going to survive. What else are we...
Oh, like... when Arya and Brienne were fighting, you notice Sansa and Littlefinger, like, observing. So I was wondering what was on their minds. Because, Littlefinger's face, he kept looking over. And
well, finally, Sansa left, and it was just Littlefinger up there watching.
I'm just wondering what was on their minds when they were sitting there watching.
I think they were coming to realize that Sansa's little sister is not what they thought. I think that was their coming to realization. That Arya she's grown a little and she's gathered some skills, and she's gathered skills that most people wouldn't think that you could in that amount of time. She's showing the traits of like a seasoned warrior, and they've also discussed that list of names that she has. And, they did mention, who was on the list. And she was like, most of them's dead. Which kind of alluded to the fact that, hey, maybe she killed them. And I think Sansa's kind of figuring that out. And I think that it really came to light once she saw Arya fighting. So, like, there was another meme. We've been sharing a lot of Game of Thrones images and memes this week. And there was one that basically showed Jon, he was like, Jon Snow, and he's like, oh yeah, I died and came back to life. I was stabbed to death and then resurrected. And then Arya says, well, I changed faces. And, Bran's like, well, I'm the three-eyed raven. I can see the past, present, and future. And Sansa's like, what the hell happened to everybody? Because she's, for the most part, the most unchanged individual. She has become a little darker after her experience with Ramsay and some of the political games that she's been a part of, because she's really just been used and abused since her father died.
Mama Bear, I wanted Arya to give us an updated list.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that was from who now?
Mama Bear. And
Mama Bear, who's been watching. I really appreciate you coming in and watching our show tonight. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're giving away a loot crate to all to one lucky winner out of all of our eligible subscribers. You got to live in the 48 continental United States to enter. Just subscribe. Send us a screenshot at either unnentries@gmail.com
go, Juba. Woo.
or to our Facebook page, which is Untitled Nerd Network, along with your t-shirt, gender, and size. And we're giving away that loot crate on August 13th. Mm-hmm. But now that we've got that out of the way...
Says, I did subscribe.
Hey!
Exclamation point. Keep it up, guys.
But, yeah, like, this episode was an episode of reunions. It was an episode of finally seeing the dragons kill some people. Mm-hmm. Finally seeing Daenerys Targaryen attack. Finally making that, that military move, that catching them out on the road like that.
Yeah, I think she's like, screw this. I've had enough of this. I'm going.
Yes. Jaime Lannister is still alive. I think. It would be... I couldn't imagine them killing...
Yeah, I can't imagine them killing him off just yet.
I go ahead and say, if Jaime Lannister dies...
But it does make you wonder.
Oh, well, there was the story going around this week, how they were thinking that the woman at King's Landing, who was, like, following Cersei around, was actually Arya.
I read that
in disguise. Yeah. Was not the case.
No.
She's at Winterfell.
Says Dickon is going to pull him out.
Who?
Dickon, D-I-C-K-O-N, is going to pull
him out.
I
bet that was...
Maybe that's
was that the dude that saved him the first time? It wasn't Braun. But yeah, I mean, so somebody's pulling him out of the water. He did seem to go down pretty far, though.
Yeah, he just kept floating down, down, and down.
I don't even know why that was funny, but I was sitting there about to laugh.
Your face was what I was laughing about.
I don't know. But I will say, keeping a little list of notes on the episode definitely helped.
Tarley. That's what she said. Dickon Tarley.
Tarley.
Okay, yeah, that was the dude that was running around with him. And kind of the kid who had his first battle. And,
okay, I was asking you who that was because I can't remember. Yeah.
That's it.
Wasn't that Sam's brother?
That's what I was about to say.
Because his father was, I can't remember his father's name. There's a lot of characters. And we have see, that's why I like having people in the chat. Because where I draw a name on, draw a blank on the names.
She said yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I'm having major issues right now because
Sam
I've had 2 glasses of whiskey and I'm all excited on Game of Thrones fandom. So next episode, we got 3 left, and I really can't wait to be. Next episode, just before Game of Thrones comes on, we are going to be drawing for that loot crate.
Woo-hoo.
So anybody that wants, subscribe and go through all those details.
She's read all the books.
Huh?
She's read all the books.
Ooh,
Lonnie
I have all the books.
I was about to say, have you read them?
I've read about the first 60 pages of the first one. I read in the first one... Now, I will say the first book, the TV show did a great job of carrying the first book to TV.
I've heard that it's kind of gotten off of it a little bit.
Oh, they have. The TV show's well ahead of the last book now. Mm-hmm. But I made it to the part where the dire wolf pet bet Joffrey. And so they were trying to put the dire wolves down. I made it to that part in the book and then just quit reading. I tend to have a lot of stuff go on. It's tough for me to read through a whole big book like that, much less, 5 or 6 in that series?
I think there's 5 over there.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'll hold a minute while I'm going to try not to make this last too long.
Oh.
Carry the show, Sarah.
I'm here.
Sorry.
I've been looking up a lot because the cats are
I
going
actually
crazy.
Got these at off Amazon. I pre-ordered them and got them the day they came out.
How much was it?
This is about $40.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Fox leather bound Game of Thrones box set of every book so far, which is really going to suck because when the new one comes out and I get it, it's probably going to be like a big hardcover that's going to be like kind of weird off to the side of them. But yeah, each individual book has that neat leather bound look. Very, very fine print. You can actually see.
How tiny it
Pretty
is.
neat, yeah.
Arya.
Yeah, no doubt. I like that though because at the heading it actually tells who it's about, where you don't have to wonder.
Tyrion. Ooh, there's a whole chapter on Tyrion.
I know, right? But yeah, I absolutely love Tyrion there, and oh God, I'll set those there for the time being, and hope to God they don't fall on Sarah because they're heavy. But yeah, next week, 1 week from today is going to be our YouTube 1 year anniversary. So
She said, "Nice. I got the paperbacks at Walmart. Ha ha." We get the first graphic novel of them last week.
oh, the graphic novel?
What?
Ooh, I bet that'd be fun to read. I didn't even know they existed.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
That would be really neat. I'm gonna have to look
Okay.
into that.
Ew.
If you'd like to donate graphic novels, start a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter. But yeah, a week from tonight is going to be our 1 year anniversary. We're going to do the Loot Crate, and then we're going to watch Game of Thrones. Then we'll be on here immediately after the episode ends.
Hopefully it doesn't like mess up this time.
Yeah, I'll
Next time.
restart the computer during the episode. That way we're running with a fresh slate.
There you go.
So, but yeah, this is it. I appreciate everybody coming on and talking to us. I like this lady that popped
Mama
in
Bear,
here.
Angela.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Angela needs to come and chime in every Sunday night with
Yeah, definitely. Every Sunday night. Because I love it when people come in on the chat and talk to us. Because that gives us more to talk about.
Yes, it does.
It's a lot of fun when we have people to discuss the episode with.
And especially if we forget names, because Game of Thrones has 5 million characters.
We're going to set us like up a big dry erase board behind us that has like a
This
name.
person
Okay.
and then names that are
Yeah.
connected to that person.
Yeah, like, you know, Bronn is the guy who was running with Tyrion that one time, and that king's name is that, and that guy's lord of this territory. Yeah, it's kind of just what we'll have to go with, because, God, it's hard to keep track of everybody. They make
It is.
videos about how hard it is to keep track.
It really is.
They did, actually, I think, an honest trailer about season 3 or 4, and they were like, starring this guy, no, he's dead. This guy, no, he's dead too. And it's like, they did like 7 or 8 main characters, and then it's like, also starring all these other people whose names you don't remember. And it shuffles through about 3 dozen people all at once. But that was pretty good. But anyway, that's it for tonight. We all have jobs we got to go to in the morning.
Yeah.
So we can't be on here too much longer. So we're going to go ahead and wrap. Appreciate everybody coming in. Remember our Loot Crate drawing. Remember we're going to be at Wizard World on September 8th through 10th in Nashville. All 3 of us will be. And we also are going to have, if you're local to the Chattanooga area, we're going to have a Wizard World promotion event on August 19th, where we're going to be at Infinity Flux in Hickson, our awesome sponsor. And we're going to be giving away 2 free pairs of 3-day passes to Wizard World. So
You'll be
anyway,
saving a bunch of money if you win these passes too.
yeah, it's like you're saving almost $200.
Yeah.
And also remember, if you want to go ahead and buy tickets to Wizard World Nashville and can't make it out, you can use the code UNNWIZARD to get 20% off. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find a discount like that anywhere else. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Single Sarah.
And this has been the Untitled Nerd Network live Game of Thrones recap on the 4th episode of Season 7, titled The Spoils of War. We'll see everyone next week.